Welcome to Money Majlis, where we explore the intersection of finance, innovation, and impact. I'm your host, Suvo Sarkar. Each week, I bring you candid conversations with changemakers who move money to shape a better world. Today's extra episode is a special one, not just because of the topic, but because of the guest. From boardrooms to classrooms, from spreadsheets to social change, we are diving into the journey of a man who left banking to transform global education. Our special guest, His Excellency Dr. Tariq Al Gurg, leads one of the world's most influential charity organizations, Dubai Cares. Under his visionary leadership, Dubai Cares has transformed the lives of millions of children and youth across 60 countries. But his story didn't start in the non-profit world. We'll explore how he made the leap from Emirates NBD to global philanthropy, the real-world impact of Dubai Cares, and what it takes to lead with purpose. If you care about education, human development, or the future of our children, this conversation is for you. But first, a message from my sponsors.
Money Majlis is proudly supported by Aqua Now, the premier crypto-as-a-service provider, now building in partnership with the top financial institutions in the Middle East. Discover more at aquanow.com.
Money Majlis is brought to you by E&, a global technology group.
Money Majlis is brought to you by Intellect Design Arena, driving digital adoption in banking and insurance.
Money Majlis is brought to you by Live Digital Bank, powered by Emirates NBD. Trust and innovation combined.
Money Majlis is brought to you by Network International, the leading digital payments technology company in the Middle East and Africa.
In this edition of Money Majlis Extra, we are talking to my dear ex-colleague from Emirates NBD, Tariq Al Gurg. Tariq and I go way back actually, to our time at National Bank of Dubai, where he spent 12 years rising through senior management roles in consumer banking and corporate banking. In 2005, Tariq and I jointly launched the affluent banking business of National Bank of Dubai called Suhail. This was NBD's first formal foray into banking the rich and famous clients of UAE under a separate segment. But in 2009, Tariq made a bold leap, trading boardrooms for a mission that aligns money with humanity, leading Dubai Cares, a UAE-based philanthropic powerhouse founded by His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum. Today, Tariq Al Gurg is not just the CEO and Vice Chairman of Dubai Cares, he is one of the boldest architects of global education transformation. Appointed CEO in 2009, Tariq has spent 16 years expanding Dubai Care's reach from a local charity initiative into a major force of good on the world stage. To date, Dubai Cares has impacted the lives of more than 116 million individuals in 60 countries, from giving every child a strong start through early childhood development to supporting primary, secondary, and tertiary education. Dubai Cares also prioritizes essentials like clean water and sanitation, school feeding to keep hunger away, and deworming to help children stay healthy and focused. It invests in teacher training, girls' education, and digital connectivity to bridge the digital divide, while preparing youth for the future through skills development. Tariq has spearheaded major initiatives, including UNICEF's Dubai Declaration on Early Childhood Development, Dignified Storytelling, Rewired Summit, UNESCO's Rewired Global Declaration on Connectivity for Education, Dubai Cares Framework for Global Education Transformation, and the Global Education Solutions Accelerator, GISA, which aims to impact over 2 billion people in the first phase. Tariq has been recognized by Save the Children as a change maker, awarded an honorary doctorate from the Mangalathan University, and honored by the Parliamentary Assembly of the Mediterranean for his advocacy of quality education in the region, and by UNESCO, UNICEF, Ban Ki-moon, the 8th Secretary General of the UN, as well as the Right Honorable Gordon Brown, as US Special Envoy for Global Education. Locally, he's chaired the Global Council on SDG 4 under the UAE's Global Councils on Sustainable Development Goals. But beyond accolades, Tariq is a man driven by purpose. Someone who believes that education is not just a right, but a tool for transformation. Today, we'll unpack his journey, his philosophy, and the future he's helping to shape. Welcome, Tariq. It's a pleasure to have you on Money Majlis.
Thank you, Suvo, and good seeing you again. And it's been an honor serving together at the National Bank of Dubai. And I learned a lot from you, and we said that, and probably the listeners should know that I was probably one of your prodigies. So thank you for that leadership.
I'm so proud of that association, Tariq. And we did wonderful things together in the bank, and today you've gone on to do wonderful things for the world. Amazing. Now, that brings me to my first question, Tariq. Your transition from banking to philanthropy was uncommon. Uncommon then, uncommon now. What skills or insights from your 12 years in senior management at National Bank of Dubai and Emirates NBD in banking have been most critical in scaling Dubai Cares into a global education leader across 60 countries?
Well, look, Shuvu, it's very common that any CEO of any organization, regardless of the industry, if they want to be successful, there are 2-3 parameters they have to excel in. Otherwise, their life will be tough. They have to understand finance and have a grip of finance. That's very important for the CEO to know that. Not only depend on the CEO. And the person has to know management, how to manage things, a flow of work, deadlines, achieving targets, working on KPIs. So that's management.
Correct.
But one of the most important things for me is people's management. And that's the hardest because not everyone can go to that level of people's management.
Correct.
And in my opinion, if you perfect those 3 and you employ the right team under you, heading those departments, and you set your strategies and you have your policies in place, then everyone is doing his job to achieve the targets. You have set the map, you have set the plan how to reach your goals, and it's very easy. As if you are sitting in a car, being driven by a driver, you tell your driver where do you want to go, and you set the paths, and if there's any traffic coming on the way, the driver knows where to go, you've given them alternative paths, and so that's how it is. But when I joined Dubai Cares at that time, it just came out from an initiative to a very small toddler as an NGO.
Correct.
We didn't have proper risk management. We didn't have a budgeting system. We had a small finance section, HR section. We didn't have at all marketing and communications. And you see, when you're in banking, in a very disciplined structure, all banks have disciplined structures. You cannot go wrong because systems run it. People don't run the bank. It's the systems who run it. And you come out from that culture, from the beginning of your career life for 12 years, same bank, you get programmed to be a systemic guy. All that is missing into that person, whether that person is visionary or not.
Correct.
And there's no issue not being visionary. But you have to learn also from your team and from other CEOs and from your leadership how to become visionary, and that comes on the way.
Correct. So it's almost as if we went from the corporate world to a startup world, right? A startup of a NGO. But tell me, I agree with all what you said, but was there a singular trigger, Tariq, that made you step away from the corporate world to lead Dubai Cares? Was there an aha moment for you?
It was an aha-ish moment. Look, Shuvu, we work together. And all my life, I just like helping people. Not necessarily monetary. I'm talking just helping people. Favors. If someone comes to me, I have a CV of a friend of mine, a relative of mine. Can you speak to someone to employ? I just love helping people. And I remember when I was a kid, in the olden days, we used to go to the bakery with our mothers. And at those days, we didn't even have drivers. My mother used to drive. We used to sit in the back seat and go to the bakery, buy the bakery and the sweets for Ramadan, for iftar. And then whatever change I have, those dirham coins, I used to take it from my mother and I tell her, can I please put it in that donation box? So that was in me. Helping people all my life until today. Now, when I joined the bank in 96, National Bank of Dubai, when I reached almost 2004, 2005, I remember the bank started the first leadership training. And there I had this moment of, where can I reach as a leader? This bank is preparing me to be a leader in the bank. Where will I be in the future? Will I be a leader in the bank? Will I be a leader outside the bank? But I always loved helping people. I loved humanity. So the aha moment was when I asked myself one question. I said, do we have one agency in the UAE that does a lot of humanitarian work internationally for the poor, for the needy, not in our country? So my mind went immediately to the poor people, especially the children. And then I said, and does that agency have continuous travel to monitor everything that is happening there, or they're just sending checks? And the third thing was, do we have that agency that has the discipline that works with the United Nations? And my dream at that time was just to walk into the UNESCO building in Paris, just to speak once in my life. That was the aha moment. 2007, His Highness launched Dubai Cares, and we remember that big campaign he did. In 2 months, we raised $480 million locally, and then he matched it with another $480 million. And then exactly a year and a half after that, I got a call, and I go, that aha moment, that prayer that was in my heart came true, and that's how I got it.
But how many times since then have you been to the UNESCO building, Tariq?
Countless, Shiva. I don't remember. So you're talking UNESCO, you're talking UNHQ and UNICEF
Correct.
as well, you know?
Correct. But tell me, how did you reconcile the profit-driven mindset of banking with the impact-driven ethos of the non-profit sector? Was it difficult?
When I joined the Suvo Dubai Cares, I came with my banking mindset. So the first thing I did after putting all the structures together, I told the team, you handle countries and implementers exactly how bankers handle clients and credit cards and home loans and auto loans.
Yeah.
Everyone will have a portfolio of 7 countries.
Okay.
Every person will have a portfolio from different thematics into those. So we were handling all of those towards delivering a path towards how can I manage that country and my partner to deliver upon what has been agreed and what has been signed to that. So adding to that, and just the bottom line on that, I told them one thing. I told them, what is the return on investment in all the for-profit making entities, which is companies?
Correct.
They said net profit. And I said, what should be our return on investment? Everyone unanimously said children. And once we put that corporate mindset, instead of money being our ROI and putting children and quality learning into that, that is the investment that you...
I'll come back to the question on impact later, Tariq, and how do you measure it. But today, Dubai Cares reaches over 116 million children or individuals since 2007. Of all the projects that you have handled, Tariq, over the last 16 years, can you share a concrete example of a program whose outcomes exceeded your expectations, especially in a fragile or, let's say, conflict-affected region?
I'll tell you one of my favorite ones. Those are all, I treat them like my children, these programs. I don't have one better than the other. But there was one that really put us on the map in terms of innovation. So it is Ethiopia. And with Ethiopia, the government wanted to start a new system when it comes to school health and nutrition. Usually implementers and countries tackle school health and nutrition thematically. So in one country, it's about school feeding. In one country, it's about health in schools. In another country, it will be about water, sanitation, and hygiene. And we have done that. But when it came to Ethiopia, we partnered with the WFP and 2 other partners. And we said, let us integrate all of those. Because what's the use of feeding a child in a school, but they will still have the intestine worms that are feeding from the food that you're giving? And what's the use of doing all of this if you're not teaching them how to wash their hands. These worms will keep on growing and popping into their intestines.
Correct.
So if you integrate those three together, what you're doing is, with the deworming program, you're killing the worms.
Yep.
And then with water, sanitation, hygiene, you're cleaning their hands, so no more worm will come in the next 2 to 3 years. So that's a medium run. And then teaching them the importance of washing their hands and even giving them the hygiene education. And then you can feed them for free. The food will go into their intestine and it will be mixed with their nutrition system.
Yep.
That sparked a lot of things to us. The whole world praised us and the WFP on how we came up with this innovative model, because the practice at that time, this was about 2012, 2014, I'm talking, Shuvo.
Okay.
The practice at that time, everyone was scared of integration. No one took the risk.
Even 12 years back. Even 10
Exactly.
years back.
No one takes risks. It's big money you're talking about. We invested $3 million in Ethiopia for this program. It was a 4-year program. And you know what happened? We wrapped it with the research as well. So half of the schools, we did not put the water component, and half the other schools we put. And what we wanted to come out with the research, does water play a role in enrollment rates and in quality education? And indeed it did, of course. So the government loved it after 4 years. They called upon the international community a call to action to scale up Dubai Cares program. And then they took the deworming factor out of it and they made a nationwide deworming program. So that is to deworm all the population. So you see these small investments that you put as small as $3 million starts a nationwide program. Something similar happened to India. When Modi came, when he took office and he started his health initiative,
Correct.
next year they launched Deworm India. The first entity they called was Dubai Cares.
Really?
Because of our experience. And how we came in again. We came in with around, if I'm not mistaken, we came in with either $4 or $5 million, and then they were able to get $14 million from another donor. We came in and we were, with this funding, we were focusing on 55 million children in schools. 55 million is not a joke. It's not a small amount. So the investment of school health and nutrition triggered a lot of things, and the world was watching Ethiopia, and that's where we were on the map that we can become that thought leader in the future.
Amazing. But Tariq, there are reportedly over 258 million children out of school worldwide, according to UNESCO numbers. Given the immense global need, at Dubai Cares, how do you identify and prioritize which initiatives or which countries deserve your attention or your resources every year?
We, again, it's very important for the listeners to know, Shuvu, that we are a non-government organization by decree, an NGO. But we work as a philanthropy. So we are a philanthropy. But at the same time, this is people's money. We cannot make this money go on check writing for something that we cannot account for. So we had to have rigorous checklist on who to partner with, which country we go. So we do have our own practice. So I'll give you a few parameters that we look into. So one is the HDI, the Human Development Index of the UNDP.
Correct.
Lists country number 1 to country number 200 plus. So we go to the bottom of the list always. We check the bottom of the list and we see where is their education? Where does it stand? What are the issues? So that is one research the team does. UNESCO has another report called the GMR, the Global Monitoring Report, where they monitor country by country in the world about their education progress and metrics and enrollment rates and dropout rates and even grading and assessments.
Correct.
We rely on our implementing partners. One thing is very important to know, Shuvu, that because we're accountable on every single dollar we pay, we don't fund governments directly. We fund it through our implementing partners, either UN agencies, international NGOs, and some country local NGOs, which are recognized by the international community, of course. So, and in order to do that, getting in touch with all our international partners to understand what's happening and which country has a need, which country has lessened the corruption, which country are integrating ministries together, they're having a strategy for education, we get that information. And then one thing you know for a fact, Shuvu, networking in these global events is very, very important than attending those meetings. I don't get a lot of use traveling to these conferences and events, but from all the 300 speakers, from all these hours you're listening, 2-3 points you get, and these 2-3 points you take back to your office home and you start the innovation. But so this is from what you hear, but from the network that's happening outside, you meet people, you know what they're doing, you see the innovations. And through all of this, you put it together, you get to know which country is in need and which country is not in need and who is the right partner to appoint. And we do have those metrics and checklists on who we should partner with.
And do governments try to influence you? I'm sure they do, saying, come here, Tariq.
Of course, they approach us directly sometimes, and we always tell them, do you have UNICEF in your country? They say, yes. I said, please route it through UNICEF. Even if we don't appoint UNICEF at the end, but UNICEF also plays a role to help us as well. UNICEF is one of the largest beneficiaries to Dubai Cares for the last 18 years, actually. But UNICEF does a lot of work for us in terms of scanning that country and gives us the understanding of the work and where the ministry has reached. They don't charge us based on that, but once we go in and we appoint them, yes. So yes, they do approach us directly, but we always tell them, do it through our implementing partners.
Tariq, education charities often face myths such as aid dependency or lack of sustainability. What is the single biggest misconception that donors or partners have about investing in education in the global south, let's say?
The biggest misconception, Shuvu, is in the global south, because of the poverty that they have, they think that life is about survival and money. And if their children are not educated, why would they be interested in education? Education will not bring them anything. The father will be better off telling his son, go get some fish, we will sell it in the market. The girl will be better off to go to fetch some water, and we're talking about rural developing countries here, to fetch some water and wait in line and to get it. And this takes hours. And with that, she drops out from school. She's late on school. She gets hit by a sunstroke, and she gets sick. The son goes for fishing, and then boys, when they're young, when they're not going to school, they have freedom to do whatever. So that is the misconception. They think education is not important, while they don't realize, and that's the reality, that if you get education, your brain will think on how to do more than fishing and fetching water.
Correct.
So this is the reality that we have to put. So all we have to do is change the mindset. And changing mindsets, and probably we'll talk later on different thematics, especially girls, on how changing mindsets really helps bring those children or who's left out, whether neglected or dropped out from school, back in school. So changing mindsets happen within government, society, tribal leaders, and then teachers themselves. They play the final mission of making that happen.
Your approach emphasizes evidence, you said, and research and rigorous evaluation. We talked about impact earlier, Tariq. How is impact defined and measured at Dubai Cares? Is it enrollment in schools? Is it meaningful learning outcomes? Is it economic participation? What is it? Is it community well-being? How do you define impact?
Well, you mentioned everything you mentioned was correct. First of all, but it's the system that measures. So everything that you have mentioned, those are the metrics that we measure: enrollment rates, dropout rates, passing grades. Is it the right assessment that we have put there? Are the children being nutritioned, or are they still malnutritioned? Are the children stunted or not stunted? If they're stunted, it means the first 3 years of their lives, from 0 to 3, they were not fed properly. They didn't take care of them properly, so the brain is not growing, and they're not giving them proper health. So all this falls into factor before you join the schooling system. So if your base is not been created in the right, healthy manner, then no matter what education you do, you will not get it. But to define all of this, research always shows us in a program, I'm not talking global research, so everyone does their own research, But our research always shows us what works and what doesn't. And we have a baseline, we have a midline, and we have an end line.
Correct.
So when we reach the midline, we know what's not been working from the research that's going on. And we have a third party who we appoint, a research house or an academic institution. And then what we do, if we see this is a societal problem, we meet with the community. If we see this is a government problem, then we meet with the government. If it's a teacher's problem, and so on and so forth. So how can we detect all of this? We have very rigorous research depending on our monitoring and evaluation. So if you tell me what's my silver bullet in terms of impact, it's monitoring and evaluation. Part of it is research. Part of it, and out of the finding towards the end, it's policy change that you want. That's the main target, policy change. Embed this within your education system.
Correct.
So, so that is one. The research will also define other metrics such as was it cost effective? So that's another parameter. But going back into monitoring and evaluation, a lot of people are dependent on reports that comes out from the ground, from the partner. We don't. We get that report every 6 months. Actually, we don't send the next installment unless the previous mission or the phase one
Was successful.
80% successful.
80%.
80% completion rate. If we have 80%, then we'll give them the second installment and then third and so on and so forth, how it goes. But the problem is, to get that, you have to fly into that country. You cannot depend on reports. Suvo, I trust my team very well. And anything that comes from them, I read it, I trust. But how do I trust what they are getting is correct?
Correct.
So that's why we have field trips. Every single program, every single country gets at least one visit a year from my team. A team member goes from the programs department and they have a checklist. It's called ROM, result-oriented monitoring. It's a global terminology. What we did, we took the European Commission's ROM and we took the World Bank's ROM, we merged it together, we squeezed it, and we took whatever we want to do as Dubai Cares and we added our cherries on top.
Got it.
So the ROMs that we have today is customized for Dubai Cares by Dubai Cares team.
Interesting.
Part of that, one of the tools is research. One of the tools is sitting with community members, with children, with teachers, with education district offices, with ministries of education, and linking all of this together. One of the tools we use as well are called RCTs, randomized control trials. So that is also a must. And if you put all of them together, you will be able to get some findings because the research will do it. And towards the end, when the program ends, we get a third-party evaluator to evaluate us, the implementing partner, and the government itself. So it gives you a true sense of what's happening. And from there, you go to the government and tell them, here you go. We've been there for 4 years. We funded it. It's ready. You can scale it up. We will help you get international donors. You are connected. Now you have to go.
So you have a bunch of KPIs that you look at, is what you're saying.
Absolutely.
Yeah? But Tariq, you talked about visits to the countries, the recipient countries. How often do you personally visit these countries as a average frequency?
So my team will be upset for me if I say this, but my team was hesitant on taking that path. So when I joined, there was no visits per se, probably 1 or 2 for media. And again, learning from banking, being disciplined, go where you're investing your money.
Correct.
And one thing I learned from the bank is when you're giving a loan to an international company, at least make one visit, send a team member from the bank to that company, see if they really have an office or not, you know?
Correct.
And I learned that from the bank. And that's what I told them. I said, go see if the toilets exist. Go see if the school exists. Go see if the teachers exist. The food, the deworming pills.
Correct.
And what I did was, 16 years ago, I said, this will not start if I don't do it. I want to see it with my own eyes. So I started traveling and taking my team with me. And we learned as we were traveling. We didn't know. We didn't have a process. It was something very new. Nothing in the Middle East. No one had that process in the Middle East, that mechanism of traveling and monitoring, because most of the aid is very personal. It's based on crisis, emergency. It's aid. It's not development. We are working on development.
Correct.
That is a humanitarian need. We don't do that, and emergencies. So I traveled. Out of the 60 countries, Shuvu, I lost count, but I guarantee you, I traveled to more than 35 of those countries.
Really?
And some countries had 2-3 visits as well. So I'm not counting that part of the 35. And when they see their CEO is doing it, it pushes them more and more to do it, that it is our duty, our job to go and see, because he trusts us. So we will be his eyes and ears. We'll come back with a Dubai Cares report, which will have our partners' report, but we will do our own report through the ROMs and the RCTs.
And what's the toughest travel, Tariq, you've done? If you look back and think, what are the adventures you've kind of survived?
This is funny. Look, I had some logistical ones, and I had some political ones.
Okay.
Maybe I'll share one of each. I don't think there's any embarrassment of this. It was Ethiopia again. I was in Ethiopia, and we were there around 1 week in the middle of nowhere in the mountains. And in that program, as I told you, we integrated water, sanitation, and hygiene with school feeding and deworming. But the school feeding was different. Why? And maybe I didn't tap into this earlier. Because school feeding, we were the first and the WFP to launch something called the homegrown school feeding, where, because the land is fertile, so we got the local farmers and we told the Ministry of Education, let them seed and harvest whatever you want to go into the tummies of those children. So we spoke to the local farmers through the WFP, through the Ministry of Education, and we promised the farmers that if you don't get your payments, the WFP will secure it for you. Don't worry about it. So their delay of payments is 45 days, Shuvu. That's nothing. 30 days, 45 days. I mean, it's nothing compared to what's happening today in the world when you get your payments.
Correct.
So what happened on day 4 or 5? I mean, only one and a half day left of the mission. It started pouring rain, and I was in the WFP vehicles, all UN vehicles. And there's a law. You go together, you come back together.
Correct.
And you stick to the regulations of the UN. And I told the WFP, I'm not doing that. It's raining. There's no use of going out. What are we going to see? The farmers will not be there. Everything will be wet. We have finished it. My mission was almost over, because what I was going to do the next 1.5 days is just go to new farms to see new harvest. It's the same thing. It was repetitive, nothing new. I saw the feeding, how it happens, how they fortify the food with the vitamins, with minerals. I've seen the process. I've seen the mothers being caterers. They do the food. I've seen it all, the whole system, and how the farmers are involved. And we created farmer cooperatives there to stabilize the prices. We've done all of that. And then my team member, she goes, Tariq, the WFP are saying you cannot go, and especially with your post and your profile, they don't want to take a risk. And I said, let them give me that paper of declaration that I am responsible. And I signed off, and I told my teammate, I said, if you want to come, by all means, I'm going alone. I don't want to stay here 2 days. There was a reason, Shuvu, because I was in a hotel. It wasn't a hotel. It was just a building with very old apartments filled with spiders, lizards, mosquitoes. At night until the morning, it's 9-8 degrees. Wow. Daytime, it's about 14-15. No filter system in the building. You cannot put that water in your mouth. I had to take mineral bottled water to wash my mouth every day to brush my teeth. I could not take a shower because it was contaminated, the water. So I stayed 4 days not taking a shower. And then I wore a cap. So whatever things were crawling in my hair, no one can see, and put some perfume and go out and wear new clothes every day. So why repeating all of this while it was raining? Now, while we were going back, my teammate, she was with me. Today she heads the full department. At that time, she was a field officer. She's from the UAE. She's a UAE national. And what happened on the way back, there was one area that we had to cross, which is not road. It was like very muddy, watery sand.
Got it.
And I'll tell you what got stuck, and I have the picture. I'll show it to you after this interview. A donkey with a carriage got stuck there, and I have the picture. So no one can pass because that donkey with the carriage wheel from wood could not come out. So we were scared to go in. If that cannot come out, how will we go in? We stayed there for 2.5 hours just helping the donkey and the carriage come out. And then we passed. So this is one of the things. But the other one, very quickly.
The political one.
It was Pakistan. Pakistan at that year announced that they will not support the war in Yemen, if you remember. The UAE was upset. Saudi was upset.
Yes.
And at the same time, some other countries left the coalition. That day of the announcement, when the UAE ministerial level announced that we're disappointed how Pakistan left last minute, that was my departure day to Pakistan. So it was Islamabad, and then it was Lahore, Islamabad, Karachi, and then from Karachi to Lahore, Lahore to Multan, Multan back to Lahore. All these I have programs, visiting schools and everything, and back to Dubai. We arrived in Pakistan. It was fine. It was very late. Immediately to the hotel. From the hotel, immediately we went and met all the ministers, the officials on the programs that we're doing. We did a lot of programs, especially on the flooding that happened in Pakistan in 2014, 2015. So that was my main mission. And we put a huge amount of money, and we worked with an international and a local NGO approved by the government. So from there, we went to Karachi. Things were fine. We went to Lahore. Things were fine. We went to Multan. I got a call. Come back now. And you don't need to know from whom. Okay? From very high authorities. And I said...
From the UAE? From Pakistan?
From UAE.
From UAE, of course.
I got a call from the UAE. Okay? Come back immediately. And I have a delegation with me.
Correct.
I'm not alone. I have 4 people with me, so we're 5. And the trip hasn't finished. We just finished day 1 Multan. So we arrived Multan, we're day 1 finished, and now we have 2 more days. They said, come back immediately. And I said, yeah, but there's 2 more days, and then come back immediately. And I was arguing, no. They said, where are you? I said, I'm in my hotel room. Can you open the TV? And I opened the TV, and it was the Pakistani minister replying back to our minister from the day 1 when I traveled, and how Pakistan is upset. So when I went, they said, you leave Multan right now. You go to the airport. Now, Multan and Lahore airport, that's a 6-hour drive. So we took a 6-hour drive, and the people in the car that I was in and the other cars were military people also. So there were machine guns in the car just for the protection. And when we reached to the airport, going up the ramp where the VIP entrances of the airport, there were guns taken out in front of my face. People from my car and people from outside, the police, military. They were talking about, you don't have permission. Who's this? This delegation. This is from the UAE. No, yes, no. And I saw some machine guns and some guns being pointed out. And I said, it's going to get solved. It's going to get solved. It's going to get solved. We went in, we were not treated properly by some radical people, not from the airport. The airport security were very good, just from radical people, passengers. But other than that, probably no more Pakistan.
My God, a lot of adventure. And that's a good time, Tariq, for a commercial break. Before we break, a brief word about the causes close to my heart. At Money Majlis, we believe in money with meaning. So all profits that I make from this podcast go into charitable causes that are either regional or global. And of the charities that I support, the 6 charities that I support, one of the major ones is Dubai Cares. My guest today, Dr. Tariq Al Gurg, has decided to donate his $2,000 Money Majlis gift card to, guess who? Dubai Cares. As a listener, you have the chance also to contribute with him to Dubai Cares. Just visit my website, moneymajlis.com, go to the giving page to get your free $50 gift card, thanks to my sponsors, and then choose Dubai Cares to ensure the money goes from us to them. Thank you. See you after this short break.
The financial world is changing fast. Institutions need to meet the growing client demand for crypto financial services, but they need a battle-tested platform to build upon.
AquaNow is a leading crypto financial services platform, powering incumbent institutions to launch crypto brokerage, payments, and remittance services for their clients, securely and at scale.
Be part of the transformation. Visit aquanow.com today.
The end touches your life.
In more ways than you can imagine.
You want more tech,
More speed.
more convenience,
more entertainment.
more business solutions,
Ian gives you all that.
and so much more.
Ian, go for more.
Parents teach their children to talk, to walk, to ride, to read. So why not teach them about managing their money? Introducing the all-new Live Light app, designed to teach 8 to 18-year-olds good money habits. A free and totally secure app designed for them that's always under your control. Top up their cards, set limits, assign tasks, and reward them with allowances. Download the LiveX app to open a Live Light account in minutes, and the first 50 dirham allowance is on us. Visit live.me today. Live Digital Bank by Emirates NBD. Trust and innovation combined. T's and C's apply.
Money Majlis is brought to you by Intellect Design Arena. Intellect drives digital adoption in banking and insurance. Leverage emac.ai, the most comprehensive, composable, and intelligent open finance platform for banking and insurance transformation. Intellect Design Arena.
The end touches your life.
In more ways than you can imagine.
You want more tech,
More speed.
More convenience,
more entertainment.
more business solutions,
Ian gives you all that.
and so much more.
Ian, go for more.
Money Majlis is brought to you by Network International, the Middle East, and Africa's digital payments champion. We make business happen and economies prosper by simplifying commerce and payments. Trusted by over 250 banks, fintechs and telcos, and 130,000 merchants in over 50 countries. Bringing you tomorrow's payment solutions today.
Welcome back. Today we are talking to Dr. Tariq Al Gurg, Vice Chairman and CEO of Dubai Cares, which is transformed into a global force for educational equity. Tariq, you've partnered with the likes of UNICEF, we talked about it earlier, UNESCO, and the World Food Programme. In your mind, what makes a partnership truly transformational versus transactional?
I'll start with the transactional because it's the easiest to me.
Mm-hmm.
What is transactional? Transactional, when an entity comes and tells you, we're working on an X program, the funding is about, let's say, $20, $30 million.
Mm-hmm.
We have a gap of, let's say, $22 million. And would you be able to give us at least 2 to 3 million and just sign a check? And we just get a global report like anyone else.
Correct.
And they achieve their mission. And usually those are very short term.
Yep.
So I'm obliged with whatever strategies they have put, with whatever vision they had. I just have to go with the flow. I don't do that. It has to be a vision which is co-shared. This is the non-transactional now we're talking.
Yeah, yeah.
It has to be a shared vision. It's into our belief. It's in both our mandates. Don't treat me as a check writer. Treat me as a strategic partner, or a partner if you don't want a strategic partner. Let me be part of the design. I have also experience.
Correct.
We are in 60 countries. We have over 200 programs, 240 programs to be specific into those 60 countries. And we have a lot of research as well. There is at least some data that I have that will be very accurate, rigorous, and very positive, and it can lead you towards impact. And that vision cannot be on a short term as well. It has to be on a long term. That's why our programs goes to 4, 5, sometimes 6 years as well. And it has to align with the government strategy. And it has to not only give impact, but it needs to be scaled up when it's successful. If it's successful and you spend a few million dollars, what's the use of this program getting part if they cannot scale it up and get extra funding? Then your whole strategy that you have created from the beginning was wrong. So what we do with our implementing partner, alongside with the ministries of education into those recipient countries, is we co-design the program together. So we list down, the government tells us what are their educational issues. We list down how these issues should be prioritized. We tell them, out of this prioritization, we are interested to do X, Y, and Z. So we usually go with the top list. Some things we cannot get into because these kind of funding, like salaries, that should come from big countries to help them, from the bilaterals.
Correct.
I'm just a foundation. So my job is to take the money, the grant, as an investment. We spoke about it earlier.
Yeah.
And I see what the return on investment is.
The ROI.
Go there with a shared vision, with a strategy, aligning strategies with the strategies of the government. And when you finish the program and you get the research and you get the final evaluation, what is happening towards the end, the government there can have a solid proof to go to the European Commission, to go to the World Bank, to go to the UN, to go to the bilaterals, to get extra funding to scale it up nationwide. So that's the mission. That is the non-transactional.
So Tariq, roughly what % of your programs get scaled up, you think?
2 points. One, embedded within the education system, so they have to adopt it. And two, how often of them, when they get adopted, they get scaled nationwide, not in pockets.
Correct.
So for the first one, the accuracy rate is 80-85%.
Okay.
They get embedded within the education system. Now, getting scaled up, probably it will be somewhere around 65%.
Not bad at all. Not bad at all. Now, tell me, what is the most complex negotiation you have led to mobilize resources and align diverse stakeholders? You must have led quite a few. In your mind, does one come to mind as a very complex one?
The most complex negotiation to mobilize resources was the initiation or putting all the blueprints of GESA, the Global Education Solutions Accelerator.
Yeah.
And I'll explain it to you probably so you can understand it more.
Sure.
What's happening in the world, Suvo? Do you believe that education is one of the most important tools of human survival and evolution?
100%.
Fine. The problem is that the world are not collaborating on at the highest level together to solve this problem. Each agency has its own mandate. One on early childhood development, one on primary, one is only focused on enrollments, one is focused on quality education, one on teachers, and one on funding only. And when you have that segregation and them not overlapping except in board meetings, what will happen, there will be a gap. And sometimes you'll get a vacuum if one of them closes down. So what is being built, fortunately and unfortunately, fragmentation starts popping up.
Correct.
And these fragmentations becomes a threat to the old giants. How can we work in a way that all of them would work together in harmony to achieve the mission of education? We're not competing for money. We shouldn't compete for anything. We should unite all our efforts, all our resources, all our network for a certain cause. Today, it's all about the money. It's all about, this is my mandate. That agency cannot do it. So what I did, I was working very closely with the UN, with the Deputy UN Secretary General, Ms. Amina Mohammed, under the initiative of the UN Secretary General, Antonio Guterres. and they wanted me to establish a framework that can guide countries to transform their education systems. Now that took me 5 years in-house. No consultant, nothing. Me and one team member, and I had the programs department feed us with the information. When I presented the framework, the Dubai Case framework on education transformation, it was endorsed by the UN. It was in the UN portal, and it was the only one until today, which is endorsed as a new framework for all countries to look at, so it can become a guiding framework to change their education systems. I'm talking education systems. So curriculum, teacher training are just one or two of them.
And this will affect about 2 billion beneficiaries, right?
Yeah, so that's the initiative. That's JESA.
Correct.
Now, and what happened, the UN Secretary General then announced that he's doing the Transforming Education Summit. And they asked us to, the Rewired Summit that we did, to be the main building block towards their summit. So when that happened, during the summit, the framework was ready. I launched it here in Dubai, actually. I unveiled it, in Dubai at the World Government Summit in 22.
Yep.
And in the same fall, same autumn, during the UN General Assembly, UNGA, of the same year, 2022, at the Transforming Education Summit of the UN Secretary General, we did the official launch. I had around 2 or 3 heads of state, and I had probably 5 ministers from different countries, and I had thought leaders.
But Dubai led the way on this, huh?
Dubai cares. It was our panel, 1.5 hour panel that's in the UNHQ at the UN General Assembly. And Right Honorable Gordon Brown, who's the UN Special Envoy for Global Education, was also there. He has been my mentor for more than 13 years, and we've been funding his initiatives alongside with the UN. And I think we have done a great job putting the sector together. What Gordon did in 2012 when Ban Ki-moon, the previous UN Secretary General, did, he appointed him as UN Special Envoy for Global Education. We were already part of the technical advisory group of Ban Ki-moon's initiative. So Gordon Brown inherited us, and he realized that Dubai Cares is the vehicle that is transforming education and doing all these innovations. So with the framework being introduced, I was asked by Ms. Amina Mohammed, the Deputy UN Secretary General, that countries want a vehicle of delivery. How and who will guide them on the framework that we have put? What, they cannot sit and read. And I promised her that I will create a mechanism, a global mechanism that will make it happen, and that is JESA, the Global Education Solutions Accelerator. And what I'm putting there, and probably I might show you as we speak, I have I created a board at the Rewired Summit, and then probably, as you can see in the Global Council here, I have 6 clusters. I have implementers. Those are implementers, global implementers who exist today, who influence government decisions and policy making. So these are the global ones that at least I want to start with. I don't want to get everyone in. I have the private sector who will fund or will give non-monetary. So if you have something like Microsoft, they will pay money and they will give softwares. And then you have government agencies who give grants. And then you have foundations and networks. And you can see all these big names here. And then you have finance houses, such as development banks, such as funds and bonds. And then you have the multilaterals, which is all the UN agencies who are involved. Plus some other more, such as the World Economic Forum and the OECD and the rest.
Very comprehensive program, huh?
So this is my Global Council of the Rewired Summit. I am asking them to second, based on their mandate, into JESA on every single sub-thematic of education. They will second, and we will also employ people who will guide the countries on Dubai Cares framework. I will just open this very quickly so you can see what a framework looks like. We're talking about early childhood development and how children, some will go to school and some will drop out. Some will never go to school. So if that's the case, how can we, through a system of schooling and non-formal schooling, instill the best values, skills, knowledge, and experiences build them in as core competencies based on the government's vision and the future of work that they need to hit the vision that they're looking for in 20 years, so we can create at least human capital into that country, meaning lifelong learning, better health, improved skills, gaining income. And how will the government work with the private sector, telling them what are the future jobs do you need, so we can work on our education system from now and the curriculum to embed these skills into our children. Why? So we can achieve human development. So the framework is one, but how can I get all these agencies to start guiding these countries? I had to create JESA. And 2 points are very important in JESA. Number one, countries usually take 5 to 7 years to change the system. This is just a framework. This is not implementation even.
Yeah.
And the least one will cost them at least $5 million. What we promise is we will do it in 2 to 3 years, not 5 to 7. And we're not going to charge any money to those developing countries. We'll do it for free.
Okay.
So this is JESA. And 10 countries joined. I can name them to you if you want.
Yeah.
So India, Pakistan, Afghanistan, Tajikistan, Kyrgyz Republic, Uganda, Tanzania, Kenya, Portugal, and Brazil.
Okay.
We're talking about 2.1 billion people will be impacted throughout this new education system.
Incredible.
And what will happen, all these entities that I showed you in the Global Council will participate in all these 50 thematic working groups, and we'll get all these reports, and they will fall under 9 task forces which will manage them. One will be on early childhood development, one on school health and nutrition, one on finance, one on teachers and quality of learning. We have youth and skills, we have connectivity and technology, climate, emergencies, and gender and inclusion.
So, Tariq, what do you think are the key innovations or models in JESA that you just described to me, which is different from earlier models or earlier attempts for educational aid?
Earlier attempts did not have technology and connectivity.
Okay.
And whatever there was, it was not meaningful connectivity. It was poor connectivity. You cannot even go to Gmail and look at an email. What's new? We are putting climate into the equation. No one is doing climate.
Okay.
Innovative financing. Who is talking about creating a social impact bond with a AAA plus bank in the world? Well, Shivu, let me tell you, we have created that.
Really?
We announced the first ever social impact bond with Crédit Agricole and the WFP in Senegal. And at the COP28, the Rewired Summit that we did, that was where the launch is.
Yep.
And hopefully by January, we will start mobilizing with the government. So Crédit Agricole will get the investors. They will get a coupon because we are creating an income-generating school feeding program in Senegal.
Interesting.
So these are the things that will enlighten them. Youth and skilling. People talk about it. The World Economic Forum did a good job. They went and we funded that program. We funded the World Economic Forum on 5 countries on how to build taxonomies on skilling. So what jobs do we have in that country?
Yep.
What skills we have in that country, and what the gaps are, and how we can have the right training and assessments so we can close that gap, so that the ones that didn't go to school at least have some skills and being certified for a certain job, at least to earn some income rather than nothing.
It's vocational training.
Vocational training, absolutely. You got it right. So these are the things that we're adding into the equation, and emergency is never there. When you're working in a country like Mozambique, for instance, or Sri Lanka or Indonesia, expect some cyclones, expect some weather changes, So they have to be prepared on education and emergency, because what will happen? A refuge situation will happen.
Tariq, is shifting gear. Women and girls are disproportionately excluded from education. We know that, with more than 130 million girls out of school globally. How do Dubai Cares programs address gender barriers and promote girls' lifelong learning, especially in the conservative countries that you work with?
Shuvu, you come from a nation and your neighboring nations, and you have seen how girls have been neglected.
Correct.
And even us here in the Middle East, if you go back 50, 60, 70 years, that was the same issue. And so that does that tell you something? So it's not a religious problem. It's a mindset shift that they need.
Yeah.
It's a cultural problem. They claim it's part of the tradition, while no religion stops the girl getting education and being part of society
Yep.
and working towards the GDP of any country.
I mean, UAE is a shining example of that, right?
100%. Today you're talking about the Gulf also.
Correct.
They follow the same path. Before that, you were talking about other countries, such as Jordan, such as Egypt.
Yeah.
Those were way before us, 100 years before us.
Yeah.
So the main issue is just mindset. Shuvu, that's how we see it. Now, the biggest problems girls face when it comes to education, they're neglected because what they say is the girl's place is at home and she has to do the home chores, meaning go fetch water.
Correct.
Or clean the house or go get the grocery. And so I'm specifically talking about girls because it's a very sensitive thing to me, and I might take a bit of time to talk about it because it's very important. And I'll draw into your mind what is the power of the girl in comparison from my mind, my thought, to what has been said outside. But I'll do it towards the end.
I'm a father of 2 daughters. So are you a father of
4 daughters?
4 daughters. So I think we care about girls a lot.
Good. So you have to tackle it from a systems level, from a policy level, and from a traditional level. So that's mindset. The biggest problems of girls not going, we mentioned one, which is just culture. Number 2, early pregnancies and early marriages.
Correct.
In Philippines, for instance, we invested a lot in Philippines. We changed the entire policy of the country, the entire in girls' education. In Philippines, most of the cases are early pregnancies, early marriages, and they drop out as early as, they get pregnant as early as 14. This number 14, go to Africa, it's there. Go to the West, it's also there in rural areas.
Okay.
This number 14 is there. Now, we're not against it culturally. We're not against it religiously, in any religion, in any belief system. But in today's society, should women get married and get pregnant as early as 14? It's a completely different era of humanity. In the past, it was completely different. Maybe she had to because there was nothing to do. Today, there's a lot. There's schooling, there's university, there's prep for marriage.
Yep.
So that's a big issue. And the other issue is because they see how poor they are, the corporate sector headhunts them for their own call centers or assembly lines or knitting or whatever that thing is. So we have that issue. Now, how to protect that is with the early pregnancies and early marriages, we create catch-up schools, accelerated learning centers, where we bring that girl back to the school or to the center, and whatever she missed in 2 years, we give her 3 to 5 months of accelerated learning to catch up with her mates later on. And if she missed 3 years of schooling, we have a 6 to 9 month course to bring her back on what she missed. Because if you miss 1 year, you join another team. You don't join the same pupils who were there.
Correct.
So these are the tactics what we can use. But what is the most important thing is you have to go to the tribal leaders. Most of these places that we're talking about, you have tribes.
Correct.
In one way or another, in different forms.
Yeah.
So if the tribal leaders are bought into this, if you sell this idea to them and they start sending their daughters and they stop the early marriages, then the tribe will follow. So that is the mindset shift that we're talking about. The second thing, it's the boys in school. Shuvu, the boys in school should advocate for the girls and support the girls. And we do these, we call them the school clubs. And we deliberately appoint, this is all with implementing partners, of course, we deliberately appoint the boys chairing these clubs for the girls. So they go and knock out people's homes, sending pamphlets, saying we have to work for the girl, and they mention why the girls should continue school and not drop out from school. So we have all of those tactics we use, and all of them have been successful. As I told you in Philippines, I'm so proud of that program because we have set a global example on how I think Philippines has 6 or 8. I think it's 6 governance that we had to convince. I think 6, and then 2 remained. I forgot, or was it 4 or 2? And at the end we got it, and it was a cabinet decision to scale up the Dubai Cares program in Philippines, and we did it with Plan International, and that sparked a lot of things.
Amazing.
Around the
But
world.
you're seeing the same progress, Tariq, in other countries as well? In girls' education?
It depends. I mean, we faced issues a bit in Pakistan and Yemen. We faced issues in probably South Sudan. Each one has their own reason. One could be traditional, cultural, religious. South Sudan was an issue because there was a huge refuge situation after the country split. Sudan became a country, South Sudan, and then the South Sudanese adolescent girls took refuge to Uganda. There was nothing there. There was another war. So in those places there are some struggles. But although in Pakistan it's a big population, although you have some struggle in an area, you have successful stories in another. Yemen was a good successful story until the conflict started. When the conflict started, then not. But we have a lot of big successful stories in Latin America, specifically in Central America, in Honduras, Nicaragua, and Guatemala on girls' education and skilling.
Amazing. Tariq, COVID-19, just looking back, forced 1.6 billion children out of school and exposed a global digital divide. What role is technology playing in Dubai Care's approach to making education universal, especially for, let's say, disconnected, rural, or displaced youth?
This digital divide, Shuvo, was always there. We never saw it because we were never using it.
I think COVID enhanced it, probably.
It opened our eyes.
Yeah.
And if I tell you a story, you might not even know it. Do you know that the UAE in 2012 had a complete digital education system for remote learning ready?
In 2012?
In 2012.
Really?
With the instructor of Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum. We didn't use it because we didn't want it at that time. So when COVID hit, and this will be very strange to you because you got hit as well in your house.
Correct.
Everything was in the house, probably in the kitchen. One girl in the kitchen, the other girl in another room, you know?
Yeah.
What happened? The government immediately took that system. So what saved Dubai and the UAE and Abu Dhabi and Sharjah, all the Emirates, is that we had an existing system. And that system we took, and the Ministry of Education worked closely with Dubai government to have that system embedded. Now, I'll give you two examples.
Yeah.
Kuwait had all the money, but they failed to deliver on the first year of the lockdown. Why? Because they didn't have the system. But the second year, they came back. So all of them missed out the first year. Japan also had the same problem. Japan had the technology, but didn't have probably the financial resources to cover the entire country. So you had different ways, and we took these as examples. And the UAE was a global example.
Correct.
But year 2 after the lockdown, or year 1 after the lockdown, all the world came together. Digital literacy, Shuvo, is very important nowadays. And if it wasn't for COVID, we would not have jumped into that digital literacy.
Correct.
Podcasts, what we're doing now, shot up in the world after COVID.
Of course.
People became, these are soft skills now, chefs.
Yeah.
Grandfathers and fathers and kids became chefs. So COVID opened a lot. And if you look at the rural areas in developing countries, they don't have technology and connectivity. So what that did, it just widened that gap. That digital divide just became wider and wider. So thank God, in 2018, I just want to tell you one thing, that we funded $300,000 to UNICEF to do a white paper, a research on how we can use technology and connectivity to children's education.
This is pre-COVID, 2018.
This is pre-COVID, 2018. The findings of that paved the way to launch a global vehicle, and the main mission is to connect every school in the world with internet. This was pre-COVID. And for that, we invested $2.5 million in 6 countries to be the pilot for UNICEF. That initiative today is a partnership between UNICEF and the ITU, the International Telecom Union of the United Nations. They're based in Geneva, and the initiative, and now it's an organization, it's called GIGA.
Oh, really?
Please Google it.
Oh.
So we were behind GIGA's case study, and we were in the first pilot of GIGA. Now, GIGA's job in the world with the ITU is to put internet in every single school in the world. When that happens, those children in rural areas will have access to internet, will have access to digital learning. They can have their soft skills done through Zoom or through Teams virtually, and they can get certified. Life will become much easy. That is why this digital literacy and putting technology into schooling is very important.
Excellent, excellent. Tariq, education NGOs face things like donor fatigue, complex geopolitics, which you talked about, some of that, and frequent emergencies. How do you keep yourself and your team purpose-driven, resilient, and innovative in the face of mounting global challenges, especially what we're seeing in the world today?
I keep on going back to our vision. I remind the team, if you come to our office at Suvo, you will see our vision placed on the walls, on the murals. We have our values like honesty, integrity. That is there, but our vision is always there. And the vision is to be a leading force driving the transformation of education and learning towards a prosperous and sustainable future for all. That's Dubai Care's vision. Now, what I do, I use my own tactics. I'm a very challenging guy. I love challenge, and I hate to lose, and I hate being number 2 as well. So what I do, I see a successful story, I raise the bar. I tell them I need more. Now they hate me for that, but that's what will make you number 1, and will keep you number 1. If you sleep 2 years, someone will pass you. So you keep on raising the bar higher and higher, and I throw in ideas. Crazy ideas to the team.
Yeah.
I tell them, do you like it? They say yes. They work on it. So that even motivates them. Then they push crazy ideas on me. I go ahead with it. So the more you interact with your team by bringing new stuff, innovative stuff, that keeps the motivation. And one important thing, I attend all these global meetings. I sit on all these global boards, UN, non-UN. So I hear a lot on what they are planning to do in the next 2 years. I take these ideas, I bring it to the team, so we become the first entity in the world to launch it. That's what keeps them ticking. Everyone has a job to do. I have my job, I travel, I come back, bring ideas. Their job is to put these ideas into reality.
So on that point then, Tariq, how do you define your top 3 goals, let's say, for the next decade? What are your top 3 priorities as you look forward for the next 10 years?
My main goal now, because we're shifting strategies, is GESA, the Global Education Solutions Accelerator.
Okay.
So for the last 18 years, we've been funding in-country programming. So these are innovative programming that becomes successful. We do the research, they scale up, they go nationwide. I think that shouldn't be our job anymore. I think now we have so much experience and network, and through GESA, I showed you how many entities are joining.
Correct.
And countries. We can actually advise countries to change their education systems, and the beauty, it's a Dubai Cares framework, a guiding framework that will help them. That's my main mission for the next 10 years. But I want to still remain the UAE's charity of choice through volunteering and partnerships. So partnership is our forte. Volunteering, we started the whole volunteering system in the UAE, so I want to keep that ongoing. But again, to change education systems, Suvo, you need in parallel the Rewired Summit every 2 years to bring all the thought leaders to say what is relevant and what we need to work on, and see what we can tie up to global action and global strategies for all the governments to be linked in.
And if there was one piece of global education system you could rewire overnight for maximum rapid effect, what would you choose and why?
It will be the curriculum. It's very old. 120 years old to be specific. And it was done for the human at that time. Farmers, industrial workers, and it was for that.
Yep.
And those people became us. Pilots, jet fighters, ships, airplanes, and podcasts and
Clusters.
talking virtually and going all this. But now we have to move to a new world. And for that, we need a lot of life skills and soft skills, such as critical thinking, digital literacy, socio-emotional learning, and focus on the youth and the future of work. And for that, you need to build new skills into them.
Tariq, just moving to your own personal development, you undergone leadership training under His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum's leadership program. What is one principle from that experience that you still apply daily? And just broadening the question a bit more, in your mind, what are the most important traits of a leader today, in today's world?
Again, I told him I'm a very challenging person. So to me, one principle would be no room for impossible. There's nothing called impossible. You work on it, you will fail, you will succeed one day. And I told you about the crazy ideas that we keep on pushing, me and my team, and we made it all happen. I mean, who thought that a small, tiny entity in the Middle East will pop with a global framework on a new education system that will be guiding countries around the world?
Amazing.
Who would think of having a global summit on education? There isn't. It doesn't exist. We did it. And who would think that we will put a GESA, the Global Education Solutions Accelerator, and bring all 50 entities to be working to transform these education? So for me, there's nothing called impossible. We work on it. But you have to be visionary. You don't just put a crazy vision. No, you have to be visionary. You know what you want to do, and you have to have the evidence, and you have to have the team to execute it, and the network. You have to adapt to the changes that are happening in life. You put some empathy into the equation. And everything that you're doing has to be resilient, innovative, and you have to observe the world on what's happening so you can come and implement.
Excellent. Tariq, my last question to you. Not everybody has the courage like you to give up a corporate career and move to the non-government world, the world of impact, social impact. For young aspiring social entrepreneurs and young leaders, some of who don't want to leave their current jobs, what is one actionable step that they can take in shaping educational progress in their own small way, in their own societies, in their own countries? Especially if they lack major funding, what can they do to shape education?
Well, probably what I'm going to answer you is, we Dubai Cares, we learned from the best. His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum. So don't come and say, I'm going to solve all the problems in the world. You choose what you want. You identify a real need that your heart resonates, and you think you can play a role expanding it, advocating for it, solving a lot of global issues. And sometimes it's locally in your country, sometimes it's regionally, sometimes it's international. And you have to believe in the power of partnerships. We have over 150 implementing partners around the world. I just showed you 10 of them right now. We have over 150. Believe in those. They have the know-how. You will learn from them, and we learn from them. And of course, leverage on every single resource, network, technology you have to embed it within this for that cause that you want. The cause could be 1 or 2 or 3, but don't make it huge causes. His Highness, why I told you I learned from the best? He told Dubai Cares, education.
Correct.
He did not say education, vaccination, and climate. No, he didn't say all of that. We did education. We embedded all the issues because we believe that education can solve all the SDGs issues. Because that's the tool. It's education. You want to solve the climate issue? Put climate into the curriculum. You want to solve really climate issues? Put climate into universities as a subject. And of course, you have to invest in 21st century skills. And only if you're ready and you already started delivering these solutions, in case you want to go international, then you can go. Only when you're ready.
Very well said, Tariq. Thank you for a very, very thought-provoking conversation today. Any last comments, Tariq, before we part ways?
Look, the most important thing, what I want to tell you, Suvo, is 2 things. And I emphasized on this a lot. GESA is very close to my heart because what we need to do now is change all education systems in the world. The UN Secretary General in 2022, he launched the Transforming Education Summit. All the countries came and it was a unanimous okay from all the countries. Are they doing it today? I would tell you hardly 1 or 2% are doing it. JESA will be delivering on that. So I would urge anyone who's listening to urge countries to influence them to change their education systems, whether it's with JESA or not, because we can't teach children what we have been taught for the last 120 years. And why do we want to do this? Because we want to create super youth, super children who will take the economy of that country to the next level. How we do that? With the skills that we will build on them based on the government's vision on what they need in terms of future skills for the future of the work of that country.
Thank you so much for that masterclass in purpose-driven leadership. From building schools to shaping policy, you've shown, Tariq, that education is the most powerful investment we can make.
Money Majlis is proudly supported by Aqua Now, the premier crypto-as-a-service provider, now building in partnership with the top financial institutions in the Middle East. Discover more at aquanow.com.
Money Majlis is brought to you by E&, a global technology group.
Money Majlis is brought to you by Intellect Design Arena, driving digital adoption in banking and insurance.
Money Majlis is brought to you by Live Digital Bank, powered by Emirates NBD. Trust and innovation combined.
Money Majlis is brought to you by Network International, the leading digital payments technology company in the Middle East and Africa.
For our listeners, global change doesn't happen by chance. It happens when committed individuals choose to ask bold questions and act. If you found value in today's Money Majlis with Tariq Al Gurg, don't forget to subscribe, share, and support impactful causes through our giving initiative. You can find details on my website, moneymajlis.com. Till next time, ma salama, goodbye. Stay well and do good.